growth. Our country has been done in such a way that cost of capital is too high. And because even the reason why cost of capital is high is because of government. The biggest borrower is government. So it crowds private credit. And so when someone goes to the commercial bank to borrow, they will say, no money, or they give you at an expert, maybe with more conditions. Now what I'm trying to say, in the tea sector, if when me become the president, I will tell you that it will be deliberate effort to put industries, to put processes, so that credit, which should have been somebody going there, will be given by government beyond leading it, so that we create jobs in that sector. Fertilizer will be given on subsidies. And I can assure you the tea sector is the best now. Because initially we had 4 of them, 4 ranking. Tea can even overtake coffee. But of course coffee is still high. In the current situation now, it is coffee followed by tea. Now we're getting a lot of money from tea, but also the marketing process are being driven wrongly. Government should lead in this process. I can assure you, I leave tea, we create jobs, and we make our youth.
All right, thank you so much. Staying matters agriculture, our national anthem bears a pride in our agriculture backbone, good climate and fertile soils. Gregory Mugisha Muntu. Many households are remaining in the subsistence economy right now as we speak, mostly in subsistence agriculture. You do have the standing current government prioritizing agro-industrialization, manufacturing with the incumbent, ensuring that there's a spread out of business and investment parks across the country. But there's also the element of tourism, construction, trade that are low-hanging fruits. Oil and gas have been promised that next year it should be bearing us some fruits. There's also wax and transport.
Where 70% of the population is in agriculture, fisheries, crop, as well as the dairy industry. You have to focus to lift those people from the levels at which they are. And one of the things which is absolutely sad right now, that there was a total breakdown of extension services, and also credit is very expensive. Other than PDM, which is touted all over the place, which is only 1 million, it cannot help farmers who want to invest, one, raising money for quality seeds, buying fertilizer in areas where you find that the soils have got depleted, and then buying pesticides for spraying of crops, and also the use of machinery, either tractors or ox plows, that requires capital. And most of these peasants don't have access to capital, and our cooperative unions were literally broken down. It is very amazing that there is actually one fund. It is small, it's not big, the agricultural credit facility, which is given by Bank of Uganda through commercial banks. In the 74 districts where I've gone, I've asked in about 8. There's only one district of Lumbuye where only 2 people raised their hands who were aware of such existence of such a fund. Now you can imagine, this is an agricultural country. There is a regime which touts PDM, which is on 1 million, and yet the fund which could have helped those who are in agriculture would go into agro processing. People are not aware of it at all. And it's at 12% per year. Farmers cannot survive on borrowing from commercial banks or borrowing from SACCOs at 30%, 35% and above. It simply can't happen. And therefore, we propose to increase agricultural credit and expand it and sensitize people, and also ensure that we either direct or work with the private sector to establish tractor hire services in areas where they still have large chunks of land. That is only Nango, Acholi, Teso, where you find peasants who still have subsistence farmers who still have about 10, 15, 20 acres.
GPT works best with detailed prompts, but I hate typing it. So instead, I dictate them using whisper flow while walking. When I'm walking, my brain just works differently. Ideas start pouring out.
But ChatGPT's native voice dictation can't handle my stream of consciousness rambling. Whisperflow cleans it up instantly. Here's what I'd type if I were at my desk. Here's what it looks like when I dictate to ChatGPT. And here's what it looks like when I dictate to ChatGPT using Whisperflow. Rich, polished, perfectly structured prompts that unlock ChatGPT's true potential. The outputs that I get from these Whisperflow walking sessions, night and day difference. It's like I went from chicken scratch notes to a client-ready draft.
The best part, I'm getting a ton of work done while also getting my 10,000 steps. Try it and I bet your best work will happen on your next walk. Get Whisperflow free.
Home and Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
ExpressVPN apps keep your activity and identity private while you browse, stream, email, or download. To learn more and get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN protection for free, go to expressvpn.com/mom.
Because it's not called a low-hanging fruit for nothing. Because investment doesn't take a long time.
2026. What would be the indicators of success for the things that you have mentioned, particularly increasing the agriculture credit and also creating markets beyond our borders?
One of the things that we really want to target and aggressively pursue is the area of corruption. We consider it as public enemy number one. Because we lose 10 trillion Uganda shillings, that's about 2.7 billion United States dollars. And if you tackle first and foremost grand corruption, you know, where there are contracts for roads, contracts for water, contracts for energy facilities, where there are hundreds of millions of dollars which are lost, and you crack down, because we in our own party, we believe that if we dedicate effort in a span of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can reduce the loss through corruption of 2.5 billion. You can save about 70-80% of that. Reinvest it into the sectors which are needed: education, health, and also areas like I've already talked about, like in tourism. One, education, it may take a little bit of time to bear the results, but it's the highest form of wealth for any country that wants to develop. Because we are clearly aware that even countries which have nothing, not even one single million, when they invested in education, high quality education, skilling their labor force, and of course with good political management of those systems in such countries, some of them have developed. Example, we keep giving Japan. Now consider here, if you invest in good education, invest in having a healthy workforce, and also invest in agriculture, having food security, and also having citizens who are well fed. When you have those, plus the minimum potential which we have, and good political management, the sky is the limit for this country.
And the sky is the limit for your time. Thank you so much, Gregory Mugisha Muntu. We're going to take a short break. As we do so, please be reminded the hashtag that we are running with is NTV Presidential Debate 2025. And we are running on NTV as well as Spark TV, and we are streaming live across the social media platforms, mainly X, as well as TikTok and Facebook, and our website. Now, there is a poll that is running. Which part of the debate is interesting you the most? There's finance and economic growth, there's health and education, there is also security and governance, infrastructure development. Now, just to extract a few comments that are coming in from our online audience. Thanks NTV for preparations. Page 35 manifesto, 4.2 clean water for all. National Unity Platform shows interest of reducing the cost of 20 litres to 10 shillings. And there's a question there on the possibility in an economy where 50 shillings is no longer in circulation. There's also one that has commented here, works on X, says, what are the specific national laws, regulations, and doctrine that a government that has power can actually use to ensure that there's a security, particularly regarding the arrests, the detentions, and the use of force and the such that is happening? Basically,